Stand to McWarriors, and welcome back to another episode of RogueTech as we get into the campaigns of Howl's Harrows, and we have moved on, I think. I'm fairly certain, yes, we've moved on, because now I have a whole bunch of brand new mechs to show you, and really, I'm so excited to actually show them to you that, well, we're just gonna rush through this as fast as possible. Hostile insertion. Satellite surveillance pictures show that a heavy lance was inserted into the planet's surface by Illyrian dropships. Currently, we believe they're securing their LZ, preparing for whatever operation they have planned. Before they finish securing the area, we'd like you to interrupt them. They're heavily armed, so expect strong resistance. This will be a 3.5 skull mission, 3 of 13 priority salvage, 441,200 C-bills. So, let us drop down so I can show you my brand new mechs. I'm really excited, not gonna lie. Already we have dropped down, and I think I don't think it's stuck, perhaps. Is totally stuck, isn't it? We're gonna find out, and hopefully not. Anyway, so we have an entire, well, half company drop, well, 2/3 of a company dropping down, and we have Paradox in the Griffin. You have noticed a slight upgrade to the Griffin. And now, instead of having a Thunderbolt 10, it has an Arrow 4 missile launcher. So with 15 rounds of ammunition, just for additional extra fun. It has been told to me, however, that arrows don't have to suffer AMS, so this is going to be extra fun. This is a bit of an upgrade. Lots more firepower, lots more splash, lots more everything. Still maintaining the triple medium laser, which is pretty cool. I kind of forgot. I thought I had not done that. Also was barely able to save the AMS on this thing too, but hey, hopefully this will work out really good. We have Mockingbird in the Bushwhacker. We're all familiar with this mech. It has 2 Raker medium pulse lasers, 2 standard medium pulse lasers, and a Clan Gauss rifle, along with an appropriate targeting computer to go with it. Jester in the Gladiator. What? Why is not Howl in the Gladiator? Well, because today, Jester's driving the Gladiator. He gets to experience the mini Warhammer. Howl is in the actual Warhammer. Alright, so we did make a small modification to this mech after the last time we saw it. We took out the normal large laser and put on an ER large laser because 5 more damage plus better actual range brackets hopefully should bring the accuracy just a little bit higher. Also has a silver bullet Gauss pirate, so it can fire in normal mode, cluster mode, and scrap mode should we actually end up running out of ammunition, which would be terrible. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medium lasers and an RE small laser just for a little bit of extra kicks, and a Clan laser AMS. Oh yeah. That's going to hopefully be a lot of fun. Coach in the Shadowhawk with all of its ridiculous numbers of risk MMLs, also including a whole ton of Inferno rounds, which should be a lot of fun. Showboat driving our brand new Hunchback. This was the Hunchback that we got, and I wanted to design it to something. I'm a little bit disappointed that there's no actual missile pod showing up in this shoulder, but that would be the other Hunchback. And it has a heavy MRM 30 with, well, enough Apollo ammunition to run this thing for a little while. It has 3 tons of it for 360 rounds, fires 30 of them at a time, which means it has enough ammunition to run for 12 rounds. Hopefully that'll be enough. Backing that up is 4 medium lasers. Death Crusade in the Nova with the Hag and the twin large lasers, and Finn in the Burner Boy, which has returned to its old style. -1 flamer plus plus. But yeah. Well, pardon me. We are back to a maximum flamer build to ensure the accuracy against vehicles and buildings. Alright, so the enemy is going to be quite the hike. We have a little bit of ground to cover. So hopefully that'll mean the Hunchback's not stuck. Alright, so let us get underway. So yeah, Coach, you can sort of start us off as we'll get on the roll. It's going to take us a little while to actually get to the right location, but once we manage to get there, I'm hoping just a torrent of firepower will rain down upon the enemy, preventing them from being able to do anything against our glorious might. Well, we did bring a Warhammer. We may as well just get a little bit gothic about it. Alright, enemy operating, sort of intermixed with us, which is excellent. Also, first turn, everybody gets stuff for free. I could, start lobbing missiles long range. That would actually be pretty interesting. It is an Arrow 4 artillery piece, after all. 15 tons in order to cram that sucker in there. We had to throw out a lot of weight-saving technology in order to make that thing work, but I think it'll work out okay. My biggest worry about that mech, actually, at the moment, happens to be the fact that, it has a gyro, which is not exactly designed for, close range combat. It has 10 compared to 40 stability threshold and is otherwise a little bit concerning to me, but again, fingers crossed, and hopefully it'll work out. We won't have to get within close range of the enemy and nothing bad will ever happen. I hope. Mockingbird, time to see. Oh no, you're not in the Bushwhacker. Who is in the Bushwhacker? Was it Showboat? It's Showboat, isn't it? I gave her a mech that had a whole bunch of missiles to have to deal with. That way, hopefully, if she's inaccurate, it won't be so bad. Although the mech is going to be somewhat slow to react. Yeah, we're just going to keep on running around and maybe we'll actually be able to get down. If not, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed purely because I might be able to get down there, but I'm not quite sure. After all, there is a sort of an out-of-bounds range. Alright, and Howl in our brand new Warhammer. Our first heavy mech. 70 tons of I'ma kick your butt. She also has Punisher, just in order to add all of it's not Punisher. I keep calling it Punisher because Punisher was the person who originally got it, and plus also, the Punisher skull. But Warlord for the additional damage, as well as all the other lovely accuracy buffs that come along with it. So one of the best abilities has been continually nerfed throughout its existence in RogueTech because, well, it's so gosh darn strong. Warlord has been just that one ability that everybody wanted to get because it just massively increases damage and accuracy. It also takes care of some heat, and then they've just systematically been pulling things away from it, trying to make it so that people would say, you know what, Ghost Mech is a really cool ability, why not use that? Which, to be fair, Ghost Mech is a fairly cool ability, but I have the option of doing a heck of a lot more damage, or the option of getting extra evasion, which half the time the enemy can just see right through anyway. So what's the point in that? That's the argument anyway it's made on that side. Continuing to move Showboat. I'm really hoping she can get down this hill so we're not stuck at all. But no guarantees. After all, we did drop 8 mechs at a time. But that would be extra special bad if it ended up being in that way. Lots of ground to cover. Lots of forest to get through too. That's one of the things about sort of running through all these... I'm not really sure what to say. We're not in the highlands. We're in the tundra. But there's a lot of forest on a lot of the maps. If you want to avoid that, actually, the places to go are desert biomes, which seem to have a lot fewer of those, although they also have a lot of hills, and lunar environments, because quite obviously they do not have flora, lacking all things required to do so. However, you can still fly a VTOL using helicopter rotor blades in the middle of a vacuum. Although apparently there is some work to make it to change the tags so that that is not the case. Although when I'm actually going to see that upgrade, I'm not quite sure. There is a beta branch right now that we're currently not participating in, mainly because I don't have time to help them test properly and to do all the things that beta is meant to do. But, mad props to everybody who actually is helping them out and being a good tester, but I probably would not make out a fairly good tester anymore. There was a time when I was meticulous, not any longer. I have lost that part of me, but hopefully we'll be able to get it back at some point. But anyway, yeah, not part of the beta test, although I'd like to get into it once there is a version that is sort of especially stable, because there are several mechs that I really want to get my hands on, specifically the Talos. The Talos was recently completed by Shade, and, well, it's really cool. It's basically a 50-ton inner sphere version of the Timberwolf, which is really awesome. Oh, and good, you're not stuck up there either. So we are just going to be able to get the whole gang running for the show today. So that's going to be extra fun. I was worried that I was going to have to either restart or just not have the mech, and I really want to be able to show off the mech a little bit. I'm really looking forward to seeing what a heavy MRM-30 with Apollo ammunition can actually do to somebody. Never actually used a heavy MRM. MRMs, normal type, all the time. In fact, heavy MRMs with, or not heavy MRM, but normal MRMs with improved MRM ammunition, phenomenal piece of equipment. We were able to use them to drastically huge effect in a few campaigns, and I've always been a bit of a fan with them. Back when I played MechWarrior Online, one of my favorite mechs to drive actually was a Stalker that was equipped with 2 MRM-40s, and it was hilarious just to like shotgun splatter everything. Keep the Griffin moving on forward. Eventually we will start bombarding the enemy. We have 15 rounds to do it with, so we may as well get ready to have a really good time about it. The Brother, of course, going to continue its massively high speed rushes forward. Pardon me. Got something in my throat today. I'm not quite sure what, but yeah, hopefully will not stop us as we continue to rush on forward. ECM protection going down, which is lovely. We've tried to cram as much electronic countermeasure protection as we possibly could. However, it can sort of be a little bit difficult to keep up with. I would like to get a little bit more speed out of this Warhammer. I may end up coming back to it and trying to cram in a larger engine, but I'd have to lose something. I'm not sure what, although we did recently get a light engine. So, I could do that. The thing is, I'm kind of half holding out hope to throw a light engine into this thing and change the ER large laser out for a heavy PPC, and perhaps even, that risk PPC that I was kind of bad-mouthing a little bit during the stream, because I wasn't quite sure how it was actually going to react. But yeah, it has apparently no drop-off, although it has, several other negative things associated with risk technology. Seriously, you guys are, like, literally on the opposite end of the map. And there's a gigantic mountain preventing us from being able to do really cool stuff against you. So we have to just make the long hiking trip along the trail. Now we know how the Donner Party felt at this point. So continuing the rush on forward, yeah, I think I'll just have the Burner Boy run on forward. Now there is one kind of negative. The Burner Boy is not exactly going to be super effective in this environment. It's still going to be hilariously powerful against vehicles. However, trying to overheat mechs, not exactly going to be brilliant, as unfortunately it does lack the additional protections. It does lack the, God, what's the word? the environment for the heat. The atmosphere in this is going to help them sink heat a lot faster. So, you know, just trying to light somebody on fire is much, much more difficult. Although, combining that with a couple of other mechs, you know, the Shadowhawk, we might actually be able to pull it off, and I have some hope. Warhammer's not falling behind too badly. It's not keeping up as fast as I'd like, but it is not falling behind insanely bad. And eventually the Hunchback will be able to catch up with the rest of the group, and that'll be lovely. With its own electronic countermeasure and, you know, its AMS, we are starting to cram on as many AMS as possible. Wait, did you have AMS? No. The Warhammer has a clan AMS. I kind of wanted to throw the pirate AMS on there, because we do have a pirate laser AMS. Really? Okay, so we got an Ostrock already on the field, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Zeus currently being represented by. But we're now dealing with 3 lances. The Ostrock I'm not super scared about. I believe triple large laser is the thing that we have to worry about with that one. We may end up pulling back, forcing them to come into this pass so we can basically annihilate them. But we'll find out in the near future. The enemy now knows where we are, so I assume they're going to be coming for us. It's a bit of a side note. It's kind of interesting. We now have... We now have fire starters as a primary assault unit in both campaigns, in a similar burning style. Up here comes the missiles. Is that a Marauder? That looks like a Marauder. Do I have parts of a Marauder? I think I do. I need to actually like make out a list again of all the parts that I've actually kept. So off here in the distance, no, it is an Owens, AR. Not exactly sure what version of Owens that particularly is meant to represent, but that's not really the biggest of deals. Hi, friend. I come to... Oh my god, 30% accuracy. A gift from me to you. This is why we got it. It's why we took this piece of equipment, so we can just do this. Immune to AMS, far more power, and a nidhogg gunship. I wonder how invulnerable to incoming arrow fire nidhogg gunships are, because that might prove to be a fairly phenomenal... Oh no. That's probably mine. If it's bad, it's probably mine. Oh, I have a strong hatred for mines at this point. They are just too insanely painful to have to deal with. Now, there are obvious ways of getting over it. And there's actually anti-mine ammunition that you can get if you are so inclined, but I personally don't like to. I prefer to cram on different kinds of guns onto my mechs rather than having to put on support LRMs that are just designed to clear out mines. Also, there's not a great UI element for mines just yet. I'm kind of hoping that'll change in the, well, not the near future, but the eventual future. But UI changes are the hardest changes to make into this game, bar probably almost anything. Whenever I talk to any of the developers, or any of the mod makers, they always come back to me with, yeah, the UI is an absolute pain to deal with, and if we didn't have to ever do anything with it ever again, we would be incredibly happy campers. So, yeah. UI design, somewhat difficult. I have great shots here. We got a cicada, we've got a fire starter. So really nothing too heavy just yet. We did, well, I mean, the Ostrock is a heavy, but it's not exactly a heavy that's, you know, sexy. It's not a cool heavy like a Warhammer is or a Marauder. It's a, well, a boring heavy. The kind of heavy that you look at and is like, do I really want this thing? The answer to that question is, of course, no, because it's a placeholder model instead of an actual Ostrock, which, you know, give it some time. Eventually something will happen. Yeah, not a huge fan of the Ostrock. It is one of the Ost, of which I do remember the final version of the Ost. I don't think it's actually part of the Ost family. There's the Ost Scout, the Ost something, the Ost Rock, and then there's the Ostion, which is like a huge assault mech, which is really hilarious to me. I don't think it's actually part of the Ost family, but it is the greatest joke ever to me. Alright, so the Nova is still coming on forward. Eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to get some good hits on in. We do need some good penetration so that we can use the arrow even more effectively. It'll cause lots of additional splash damage, which will hopefully hunt for amazing crits, if at all possible. Coming down to phase 26, the enemy has beaten us quite soundly on this one. Now, I can't shoot at you at all with my Burner Boy because flamers cannot target the sky, and we lost our Inferno SRMs, which I think was a positive. Yes, the Inferno SRMs probably allowed us to do even more fire damage, but unfortunately, AMS shuts them off completely, versus, you know, hand flamers, which don't care if you manage to bring all that. But yeah, we want to kill the nidhogg gunship, because nidhogg gunships tend to be especially dangerous. I didn't actually read that in time, so that's not going to be there. And the Burner Boy can just come surging on forward. We are not actually surrounded by mines, so that's actually a lot of fun. Do I just want to zip in and say hi to the Ostrock? A little bit. Probably shouldn't be too aggressive. Oh, we got a Hellspawn, 45 tons. I like Hellspawns. They're derpy and interesting looking mechs. They're kind of the type of mech that I would say is like a combat machine mech, not just a joke. But yeah, I can't actually see it in this light all that great. We've also located an Urban Mech R26, a SCADA, and an Owens. So again, nothing all that dangerous, if I'm completely honest. I'm a little bit disappointed, actually. Have some flamers, my friend. And we did manage to tag him, so target acquired on that. And, ooh, that looked like it was a lot of people. Looks like he shed most of it. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to absolutely torch him into the ground. But if you give me enough time, I might be able to get something really interesting done. But I am going to need some time to get it done. Yeah, we should be looking for 12 units, so there's 4, there's 2. So we're looking at 6 units currently missing, and those could be, you know, anything. Lots of fire coming our way. Oh, somebody tried to drop napalm on top of me. Probably from the nidhogg gunship, I kind of have to assume. Hopefully that means he didn't move so that I can get some accurate fire down. Griffin, you're the Griffin that I want. The reason why I want the Griffin is because the Griffin has the ability to just, you know, lob artillery on people. 12%, not great. 0.9%, obviously not great. But what I can do is attack the ground on which they stand. And, yeah, buddy, have fun with this. So missile goes out. Oh, good hits. That wasn't especially great. We hit him for like 6 damage in a couple of locations, but still, every little bit counts, and we'll eventually dial in on him and hopefully be able to kill him. Still no line of sight just yet, but I do have LRMs expressly for this purpose. 23%, show that to me again. It's a fire starter. Okay, listen, kill LRMs. Let's see what sort of defensive AMS. The fire starter actually is equipped with defensive AMS. Managed to shoot down 1 of 40 missiles. So he's not exactly doing amazing, but hey, he's trying. He's doing his best, and you got to give him credit for that. Coming forward with our gladiator. Still no target just yet, but again, next turn, most likely, the Ostrak shall reveal himself, and we'll be able to fire everything we've got. Hellspawn doing something or other. Is that a... You got a Jaeger mech pirate. Okay, so we've identified another mech. Jaeger mech pirate could get pretty ugly, actually. The pirate of this fire support realm, which is the Jaeger mech and the... God, what's it called? The blackjack, as well as the rifleman, I suppose. Although I've never actually seen a pirate rifleman. Huh, I wonder why. But yeah, the fire support group for pirate units can be rather interesting. There was, of course, the one bushwhacker, which is equipped with 2 pirate large pulse lasers, which deal 27 per shot, which has a variable damage of plus or minus 8, so 35 damage per shot potential out of a pulse laser. That is ridiculously powerful. Of course, it had a 20% chance to jam, because that had a recoil of 4. So a recoil of 4, and the jam chance, or misfire chance, was recoil times 5. So, lots more incoming fire. The Bird Boy got hit quite badly by that one, unfortunately. So we're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive on that. However, if he's eating that sort of LRM fire, that's actually really good for us. Means that our mechs that are actually going to need that heat in order to do other things are not getting as badly toasted. And also, he's very maneuverable at the moment. So I'm not super worried just yet. Although, if one of you could, like, show up so I can shoot at you. Firestarter 9S has almost gotten himself into range. Oh, no, that's not. That's the Ostrak. I wonder what the Ostrak is going to do, because he's going to be the interesting one. He'll be the special snowflake of this group, I'm sure. Hopefully he will run like somewhere around here, and that'll allow me to just flood him with fire. Ostrak is falling back. ECM protection. He is not interested in getting involved in a war anymore. And, you know, got rid of all of his heat and got underneath the ECM protection. Taking out this nidhogg is going to be annoying. That's really the best way to put it. It's got electronic countermeasures, it's got an AMS, it has ECM, I think I said ECM already, and it's a VTOL, so it just has a natural defense bonus, I think. They're not particularly fun things to have to shoot at, but eventually maybe we'll get something done. Maybe the bushwhacker could have seen him if he hadn't moved. That's unfortunate. Otherwise it would have been really cool to shoot him down. The bushwhacker has a personal AMS. It does not support other people, as it is a standard version. The advanced AMSs are the AMSs that actually protect everybody around you. And they tend to be quite heavy, as one might expect, given just the massive amount of increase in just defensive power they provide is absolutely ridiculous. Is the enemy still cycling through? Do you have anybody else moving at 17? The nidhogg gunship actually going to pull back like a coward. Which means Shubba can come on forward with her MRMs and still not be within range. But hey, she's trying. You gotta give her credit for trying. What kind of ECM do I actually have on you? I think it's a Guardian? I try and put Guardian on pretty much everything unless I can cram a Warfare Suite on you. And that weighs about, I think it's 1.5 tons for a Guardian ECM for normal. The clan version of the Guardian ECM is actually cheaper in terms of tonnage, although more expensive in terms of repair and stuff. So the Owens, this is a nice little cluster here, and the Hellspawn I'd like to take reasonably intact, because it's a cool mech, but I really should break... Oh, and we got a Venom too. Basically a big super spider. I could go after the fire starter, but that might be a little bit too dangerous. I think maybe lay down the sensor lock. Although, I'm seeing you're moving at 22. What? Alright, so I'm going to lay a sensor lock down on the Nidhogg gunship. That'll make it a little bit easier to target for everybody else in this round. Hopefully, if I can actually get a line of sight. What did you have? Did you have arrow 4 tags? AMS Mark II. Oh, you got 2 of them. And a rotary AC5 Risk. Interesting. Along with a pair of MML10s, which are always, you know, a really fun time. You'll notice most of the fire has gone out. That is because the fire chance is affected by biome, which was not something that I knew until not super recently, but rather recently in playing through. We're going to head down here to sort of engage with him, mainly because this will keep us away from all the rest of the people. And if he wastes our time a little bit over here, then we're going to be fairly comfortable. Managed him with 2 flamers too. So there's always that little extra bit of damage. Kind of hoping the Ostrak comes back on forward so I can mob him with these mechs and we can break him down before he can do anything. Oh, and he did. He has come riding forward. Triple medium lasers, every single shot managed to miss. He was targeting Gladiator, not able to connect with the 5 mechs that were all within line of that. So that's a special kind of failure right there. Alright, the Nova is not really the person I want to move first on this one. The Nova, unfortunately, is, well, it's designed to work through holes, not to build the holes. It has the large lasers to do it, but as you can see, the Hyper Assault Gauss is much better at just capitalizing on penetrations rather than causing them. So preferably, if this was to work together with, say, the Bushwhacker would move in first. It would get the critical hits, or it would get the opening up with the cannon, and then it would follow up with the Nova with its Hyper Assault Gauss for the extra little bit of fun. Hi, I'm going to see if I can get an extra little bit of fun on you, sir, because, well, maybe you'll be vulnerable. PPCs, only one managed to hit, but a good missile follow-up managed to tear off his left arm entirely. Took out a large laser as well as, oh no, crit a large laser and damaged his heat sinks. So he's feeling a little bit vulnerable. If the Nidhogg gunship comes and try to rescue him, we may actually have a couple of shots on him. Hellspawn coming around. Hellspawns normally have MRMs, although it looks like this one's packing either LRMs or... Ugh, we got heat critical. We're going to have to walk on this one. He might have the special type of MRMs which can fire indirectly, which, you know, are not actually a thing, I don't think. Nidhogg gunship, are you also going to focus on my fire starter? Please don't. Please just sit still and do nothing. Or, you know, better yet, shoot at the Ostrak, because he has failed you. He has not accomplished the tasks with which you... Oh, there's 2 of them. Shoot. Didn't realize that at all. So we've got 2 Nidhogg gunships to actually have to deal with, which is going to be a little bit more difficult to, you know, knock down, as they will be protecting each other, and the AMS is going to be brutal. I doubt I'm going to be able to get heavy MRMs through. Maybe artillery? If I get a couple of good, really good artillery shells, I might be able to kill one. But the trick is going to be able to get those shells. The Nova is going to be the target of his very own little fun. Luckily for us, the Griffin was in range to provide fire support. Shot down 5 of the missiles, and very little hits actually ended up happening. Mockingbird is a Bushwhacker, Paradox is in the Griffin. So we'll bring the Griffin on forward just to make sure that we happen to be, more or less protected. I'd rather not shoot you with the arrow because you're a little bit too close to my friends and family. Because otherwise, you know, that would be very, very painful. Nidhogg gunship 0.9%, Nidhogg gunship 17% fire. I know the accuracy is low, but I've only got to get within the same area code. When you're lobbing around arrows, area code will do. What was the saying? There's a bullet with your name on it. The grenade is addressed to whom it may concern. Artillery is dear grid coordinates. Alright, so we have managed to hit him a little bit more and starting to shave away some of that armor. It's obviously less than ideal. We would prefer, clearly, to be able to, you know, hit him with some direct fire weapons to utterly annihilate him. But we got to make do with what we've got. I saw an unobstructed shot. You're not going to hide it from me for very long. Well, maybe you will. There it is. That's a long-ish range shot, but I do kind of have the weapons designed for it. So, over the head and tore off his leg entirely. That's going to make him incredibly vulnerable. That helps a lot, actually, because now I don't have to worry about... What is up with your legs, buddy? Are you an actual Ostrak model? You might be. That's kind of weird. But the reason I was moving everybody inside was to get, you know, easy, concentrated fire. But now that he's on his back, I can just target that as much as I want with all of my weapons. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll have knocked out an Ostrak early on, before the enemy is mostly engaged. And the only thing it's cost us is some heat on a mech. So we'll run on forward. Can I get a direct line of sight? I can get a direct line of sight with the Owens. Right, I'm not particularly interested in hurting the Owens, so I'm going to move up here. I'm going to set these over to listen kill SRMs. That might not be a good idea. The reason why I'm going to switch them back to normal SRMs is because listen kill SRMs have a higher chance of being intercepted by AMS, and I would prefer that did not happen. See if we can't tear off his shoulder. And drill, baby drill, got all the way on through that one. So taken care of. Ostrok is down. That's 25% of the reinforcing lance. So 1, 2, 3. Oh god, it's 3 nidhogg gunships at this point. Don't tell me it's going to be an entire lance of 4 of them. I take this one for all salvage looking for mech parts, and it's throwing nothing but nidhoggs at me. I want fun, not endless shooting at a target that's hard to hit, and then eventually it dies because... Right, don't complain. It is kind of amusing to me. The nidhogg gunship is one of the most spectacular VTOLs in the game so far that we've managed to run into. This SL bomber is pretty interesting because of what it can do in terms of thermal barrack weapons, but... yeah, more incoming fire, not able to actually connect, which is lovely. We are provided by our own ECM shield, as well as our great maneuverability, which has allowed us to stay away from most of the enemy. Got a Cicada 3E, gonna fire several more missiles. Didn't realize there was a Cicada equipped with missiles at all. But yeah, they're apparently bombing the forest completely around me. They are not particularly pleased. Either that or they may work for Greenpeace. Owen's coming on forward, and he will be in cover. He should have a couple of, missiles on for the Gladiator. Managed to actually ping one on us, so that is a tad unfortunate. We are going to be coming around this corner very shortly. We're fairly chill, so it should be okay, but yeah, we're going to have a bit of a rough time shooting out. Oh, please tell me. You came in visible range of people who all have shoot and scoot. If you don't destroy one of my mechs immediately, I might have a chance of killing you. Maybe. It's got a bit of a rough one because killing nidhoggs is never easy, except when they stand still, because on occasion they will sit still. I'm not sure why they do it, but sometimes they don't move, and if they don't move, well, you can blink about this guy pretty gosh darn easy. They still will only give you like a maximum of like 50% accuracy anyway, so it can become a little bit of a coin flip, but you just get a couple of good solid hits on target, and you'll have a bit of a field day. So he's currently deciding which of these he wants to shoot. If he's the rock... Nope, he is the... He's the Rack 5 version, managed to miss most of those shots on the Gladiator. So that's quite lovely. Howl, are you in range? Are you going to be in range? Howl can get in range. Alright, Howl. Let's see. Go for the penetrator. We're chill? Oh, we are completely chill. How much armor do you got? You've got 179 armor on the front. Yeah, we just gotta fire everything. Blast away! And we did manage to hit a medium laser shot, so that is kind of a plus. But yeah, the Warhammer's first showing had to basically fire into the sky at a target that is incredibly nimble and difficult to actually touch. However, here come my heavy MRMs. Let's see how well your AMS does against them. A couple of shots actually got through. In fact, I did see a penetration effect, unless that's something special. Yeah, we got a turret. His turret is vulnerable. I mean, the chance of actually hitting the turret is not actually all that great, but it's vulnerable. So moving on to phase 27. So somebody up here is moving incredibly quickly. In fact, I'm going to get outsped by their fire starter, which is kind of sad, because I was kind of hoping I could get Finn out of here before he actually got killed. Mainly before he got, made unsteady. Where is my first move? Wow, we rolled like trash. Our highest is a 22. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to get SRMs through on that one. So more movement happening that I wasn't actually able to tell. And the fire starter moving away from us, actually. And guarded and entrenched. Well, that's kind of good. 23. You're moving at 18, so... yeah, I can't get Howl in there. Alright, let's see what you're going to do. The hell spawn. Rotary chem lasers, I think? Oh, wow, a lot of heat on that and been made unsteady. We're going to have to get this mech on the move and fairly quickly, because if we don't, that could be the end of it. Okay, Jester, you're in the Gladiator. If you just sat here and fired, 27. But you know what? You're going to confirm a lock-on, and you're going to maneuver for a direct line of sight, preferably. Is there a direct line of sight to be had? No, despite the fact that I'm right on top of you, there is no direct line of sight. Could aim in here for the side, so 28 or... 1% more, we'll take it. And we did manage to get a missile on through, so we are eventually burning him dry, which is great. Move here, step back. Bit by bit, we shall fall back in sequence. Now, my missiles are probably not going to get through, but hey, I've got to try, so everything you've got, maybe I can run you blind before, another one of it. His Guardian ECM's been destroyed? If that's actually dead, then he's in a lot of trouble if I get him. Nah, Steel's... No, it's gone. He actually lost it. So that's actually a really big deal for him, because not having the Guardian ECM is going to make him incredibly vulnerable to follow-up strikes. So if I can get just a couple of more people in on target, this is the equivalent of making a VTOL unsteady. So that's actually really good for us. Speaking of, I do have to get Paradox on the roll soon. Or whoever's actually driving the bird boy. Finn, of course. So I got to get Finn on the roll as soon as possible, just to sort of make sure that he doesn't fall over, because a mech that's on its back is a mech that's in a lot of trouble. Although it's a little bit less of a problem if you happen to be getting totally beat out on initiative. If the enemy is moving faster than you, knocking over a mech, towards the end of their cycle anyway, is not so bad, because, you know, you can stand up before they can actually cause even more damage. I anticipate they're going to want to shoot the fire starter. I'm a little bit surprised they haven't. But then again, we have, you know, mostly been concentrated up over here with this nidhogg. Yeah, there it goes. That was expected. Another couple of hits. It's starting to slowly rise on him. We're going to have to get this bird boy on the way soon before it actually dies. Finn? Yeah, it's time to go. So, vigilance to take care of all that. Hi, I can do whatever I want now. And we are going to fly. We're going to fly quite far, quite fast, and nothing I can do about the heat. So just brace it up and hope you don't shut down. So he's good on the first round, but it's going to get worse if they continue to try and light me on fire. So 18 is when this thing goes. If I can beat him, if I can outspeed him, I might be able to cause enough damage to kill him before he can actually do anything. And I have been trying to burn through his AMS, although 3 nidhogg gunships is, well, it's going to make the Hunchback a lot less cool than it otherwise was designed to be. I was really kind of hoping to be able to, like, make it a shining star of what it could do, which it probably could do if I get things right. Alright, Death Crusade, Mockingbird, and the Bushwhacker. Griffin is also up. So, Death Crusade and the Nova. Now, the reason why I'm going to shoot with the Nova is he does have a completely open side, although I could wait to fire with Death Crusade instead, or Mockingbird instead, to see if I can't get a good shot through the Bushwhacker. Well, if I get a penetrator. Oh, that was a good hit right there. So we did manage to nail it with the Gauss rifle. It's going to be extra vulnerable. It's moving at 18. So since it's moving at 18, we might actually be able to take it. Shift on over to the side with the Bushwhacker. And that leaves Death Crusade in a position. Yeah, that armor's getting mighty low. And we actually managed to damage his Rack 5. So blast everything. That did not work out at all. That worked out even worse than not at all. So we saw. So the Nova not able to provide the fire support that we desperately needed, which means Paradox. And Paradox could just fire everything at him right now, but I don't think that would work out. Besides, Paradox needs to start, you know, lobbing more fire on top of the enemy. Like, say, there. So, fire. And another hit. So, not bad. Oh, crap, he doesn't move. Shoot. Well, at least the gun's jammed. Well, it's not jammed. It's critted, so it'll be reduced accuracy. But yeah, not moving the Griffin will have been a fairly major mistake. We will be able to discount most of his missile launchers. Cicada moving... Oh, if that's going to cycle back to me. AMS for the win. Good protection going down. Managed to shoot down all the ones that would have impacted on us. 14 of 30. That would have been painful. All right, Howl. You brought the Warhammer. You may as well use the Warhammer. Assuming I can actually get a line of sight. There we go. Hi, buddy. This is our first heavy mech. So, for posterity, how does this feel? Oh, it's gone. It's very gone. So the first target has been eliminated. Well, the second target, actually. The Nidhogg gunship has been knocked out of the sky. There are 2 more that we know of on the way. There might even be a 4th one if there's an entire lance of Nidhogg gunships. But yeah, that worked out pretty nice. Sort of. It took my entire lance's amount of firepower to knock a single Nidhogg out of the sky, but and a turn and a half to do it, too. I'm going to just keep arting and maybe I'll get lucky. I've got another, like, 14. Did you not move? I think you may not have moved. Well, there's only one person to go after, so we're going to rush the Hunchback all the way forward. Hey, it's not great chances to hit, but, you know, if we fire a whole bunch of times, which apparently he's not actually within defensive range, so that actually managed to hit him. So if he's 15, I think, yep, we're all gone, so back to the top of the face. Finn gets to move first, and Finn, you've done a great job, my friend, but, what you need to do is chill. The way we're going to do that is we're just going to keep on a run. Maybe it's a good idea to jump. Nah, the run and the jump is about the same. Alright, we have to kind of hope that we don't shut down, otherwise this mech is in a lot of trouble. Oh good, he's going to have it under control. Next round, hopefully, if he doesn't get infernoed too hard, he might be able to shut down. Or at the very least, I will be able to get him behind the front line of troops. So, Our front line will be moving up hopefully enough to actually provide the defense that we need. And if this nidhogg doesn't actually move, he should be a sitting duck and easy to kill, even with his ECM suite. Hellspawn coming on forward and is going to engage the Griffin, which also didn't move, but that AMS really getting involved, trying to take care of the heat. Not able to be super effective about it, but it's trying. Shot down 5 of the missiles. Should be able to walk the Griffin out of there. You didn't take a head hit, did you? Hopefully not. The Nova can now move into a fairly decent position. Oh, actually can move into several decent positions. So avoiding the flames and actually getting a line of sight on our Nidhogg. We'll find out if he moved or not. 71, 22. Oh, the shot really here is good, but... Fire. Alright, so we did manage to hit him the once for 3 damage, but yeah, taking out these things is incredibly important. The range is a bit of an issue. It may be a good idea just to try and take off the Hellspawn just to say we did it. Do I have a line of sight anywhere else? Not really. Alright, so I will get up here. We will be hyper aggressive in trying to wipe the Hellspawn off the map. Both of the PPCs managed to hit. Structure exposed as well as the MMLs follow-up. Managed to open up pretty good. I am a fan of the Hellspawn. I would kind of like to take it attacked, but I'm not going to risk the entire company for it. Yeah, his arm's already open, which I'm a bit surprised he doesn't have an... Oh no, we can't see it. He's got an energy weapon in it. Normally the Hellspawn has pulse lasers, I believe. It was a pulse laser test bed, I believe, for most of the things. Or not test bed, but that was sort of pulse lasers as a primary armament sort of deal. Along with, you know, a big missile pack, which is mounted sort of center side of the mech. Sort of moved the cockpit over than where you'd expect it to be. Can get an obstructed line of sight, which would obviously be less than grand. Yeah, so we'll take it from there, just in order to get the shot, which will be amazing. And because I've only got a few MMLs, we're going to switch over, not to LRMs, but to SRM listen kills. Inferno, normal, listen kill, there we go. Just so we can get the increased accuracy, because it doesn't look like he's actually protected by anything. And there's another target down. So the chem mediums he was using, and heavy flamers apparently. So that's taken out another one. We've got 3 units have been defeated already. So not quite halfway. Yeah, more than not quite halfway. Is that a sensor lock? Oh, we got a sensor lock on the Shadowhawk. That's going to be unpleasant. All right, the Warhammer's going to have to, you know, get itself down from up here, which is going to take a little while. So we'll start walking as now, providing the ECM coverage that we all need, especially if we want to, you know, take this guy out. A sensor lock might help that out a little bit. Wait, what are you? I don't know if are you the Owens or... No, you're the Venom. All right, so he's running away, which is a bit irritating. Come back here, let me kill you. Come out and fight so that we may kill you. Just gonna rush on forward with the Bushwhacker. The Bushwhacker not having a good shot at the moment. Needs to sort of spread out, get some more range. Really what it needs is a bigger engine. So I can run this thing faster. In fact, what I may end up doing to this mech, if we get... Do you have a light engine? I think I saw it. Owens, not all that concerned about, is an Owens, so... Owens AR, not particularly familiar with that variant, but I'm not all that worried. A couple of shots, not able to connect on the Nova, so feeling pretty good about that. Paradox, finally in the Griffin. Alright, so I do have to worry a little bit about, you know, getting out of the flames, but looks like the only way out of the flames is not going to be a way that the game is going to let me take, so I will just sort of walk through all the fire, because I'm only going to be firing one weapon, and it's not exactly going to be the biggest cooker out there. 30% accuracy on a Nidhogg. Fire. Let's see if I can get a direct hit. I think, yep, that was a direct hit right there. So that Nidhogg gunship is going to be pretty shaken a little bit, because the Nidhogg gunship has 180 armor at the front, or 190 something. So taking out 60 of that, that's 1/3 armor down. That's big. Whole bunch of scattering of missiles all over the place on the Gladiator, but luckily for us, we're sitting in a fairly decent ECM bubble. A little bit surprised that the Griffin didn't actually fire his AMS in defense. He may be out of ammo. After all, he's only got so many shots before eventually it just doesn't work anymore, which is one of the reasons I should probably see if I can't find the weight to cram in the Pirate Laser AMS, but that thing's 5 tons. You really kind of got to build a mech into it, or build it into the mech. No, build a mech into it. So it's a very great piece of technology, don't get me wrong, but it is something you got to plan for. I could get a line of sight on you, but I'd rather start curling around to go... You showed me your back? Oh, you're kind of at a long range. How about you? You're also showing me your back. There will be the line of sight that I desire. 21% may as well. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of shots, so I may as well get some damage to hit the Venom right in the behind and start weakening that aft armor, hopefully making it an easy target. The Nidhogg is somewhere up here. We don't know until he'll come swooping back down. It's going to be rather terrifying when it happens. So hopefully we will be prepared. The Venom coming back on forward. He wants to be aggressive. Now the Venoms I know are normally equipped with PPCs, but this guy's packing pulse lasers to the max. Managed to get quite a few shots on the Hunchback. Please don't antagonize him, Showboat. Your mech is not exactly the most amazing thing in the universe. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong. I built it after all. But it is something to be wary of. What I'd really like to do is kill this nidhogg. It's going to take a lot of effort to get done, though. And the Firestarter bouncing around, continuing his little exploration of the southern reaches. Not quite sure what his plan is. Maybe he's trying to get after my Firestarter. He's jealous. He's trying to hunt us down in Lost Sight. Arctic Wolf. That is actually a bit more of an interesting mech. More modern, utilizes a clan-looking design. And he's got scatter LRMs. Alright, so we do have the swarm LRMs to have to worry about. We're able to shoot down most of them, but they then cluster and explode all over the place. It's a way of actually getting through AMS, which is fairly effective. Could go after you. In fact, I really am tempted to do it. It would require me to be incredibly vulnerable to the side, but hey, you never know. Maybe we'll actually get something done. Listen, kills. Oh, the nidhogg is in range to actually provide fire support. Shot down 3 of them. So, where is that nidhogg? You can't be in range. You weren't in range last time when he was barely up here. Well, maybe it's a line of sight deal. Alright, so hopefully we won't be taking too many shots on from him, otherwise that would be very bad. Phase 21, the enemy responds with a cicada off to the side, probably going to shoot at the gladiator, actually. I was going to say the Shadowhawk, but the gladiator works too, especially if you don't manage to actually connect on me. Starting to blast this entire mountain pass up here with a lot of fire, something to be aware of. Howl! Can we get you involved in a combat? We could against the Arctic Wolf, which I suppose I can't say no to. It's just not a great shot, is all. Set this sucker to normal mode. Did I actually jam the gun? Please tell me it's not jammed. Okay, good. It's in good condition. I'm not generating heat, and I've got 20 rounds. So you may as well just keep the fire going, because eventually you'll touch something, and then it'll kill it. But yeah, we're just running into a situation where they're being covered by the jamming field of the nidhogg, which is hidden somewhere up here right now. Possibly even covered by this nidhogg's jamming chance as well, something we want to keep a little bit of an eye on. In fact, it may be worth popping on down here to say hello with the gladiator. After all, the gladiator is fairly accurate. And it's got a 78% chance to hit. Oh boy. Maybe we can get lucky on this one. Fire everything. So we did manage to get both of the shots hit with the PPCs. So he's been nailed with that twice. What structure did we expose? Oh, again, it's that gosh darn turret absorbing all the hits. I need to get more fire onto that thing. But yeah, that's vulnerable. And somebody else is providing ECM coverage. Is it the cicada? Owens coming on forward, currently being represented by a Jenner, but eventually will be represented by an Owens when the time comes. Oh good, we're going to be able to get a temperature sensor lock is going to go down on this nidhogg gunship. Lock you down. And now you cannot resist, and now we'll just sprint along to the side. That way we keep our evasion up, we keep our defense going, and next turn we'll be able to actually engage people again. Alright, temperature recovered. So now he's no longer facing an imminent shutdown threat. So we got a lot of ECM from the enemy starting to get on top of things. And the nidhogg going to run away a little bit. And it'll be a hard shot, because now he's sort of in the middle of the field of everybody. Right, Griffin. That might actually be a fairly hilarious shot. Let's attack all around, because we have a lot of targets to sort of get through. I am, of course, going to focus on the nidhogg gunship, because that's who I want to die. And fire. Target confirmed. Fairly decent hit. A lot of scattering damage. I was hoping to get some important penetrations on that, actually, on the exposed top rotor part, but that was not to be. Can I get up here? That'll give me direct lines of sight on a couple of multiple targets. Probably, I was about to say accuracy is probably not going to be great, but that Owens we have a really good shot on, so blast away. Managed to hit him with the clan Gauss rifle, and followed up with a couple of smattering of medium lasers as well. So he's been tagged. And eventually this nidhogg gunship is going to come back down the mountain, and that'll be painful. There he is! He'll be coming down the mountain when he comes. He does have a rack 5, so that is going to be rather painful if he actually manages to hit us. There's a lot of really difficult to deal with gear on top of this thing. It's very dangerous. You need to be very careful with it, otherwise just pain is going to become. So he does also have a pair of MML-10s, which is not exactly fun, and then he's got his stupidly good twin AMS. So the twin advanced AMS is just absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that there's now 4 of them clustered in a small spot. Yeah, missiles probably ain't getting through to anybody, which is actually one of the reasons why I moved the Shadow. Oh, that hurt.
Not much armor left in that.
He got a lot of accuracy fire on that one. He wanted revenge on that for sure. So yeah, the gladiator taking a pounding. I can't imagine there's much armor left. 9 points of armor, so he spread it on the leg and the arm.
Right here.
On the one hand, that's actually really lucky. On the other, oh, the pain. Alright, so let's just get a fairly decent line of sight right here. So I want to make sure that I have the proper short range on the hag. Could shoot at you, could shoot at you. Yeah, you're getting shot at. Good hit with both the lasers, and the hag managed to blast all over the mech, so he's starting to get even more exposed. These nidhogs must die, and this one's vulnerable. Urban mech shifting off over to the side, gonna fire a pair of medium lasers, and structure exposed in the gladiator, so that means the leg, no doubt. Yeah, those were SRMs. There's a lot of damage in those SRMs. We gotta pull the gladiator back. If it gets into a duel with that Jaeger mech, it's going to lose. Oh, I'm really annoyed. Where can I actually see your ugly face? Hunchy, I don't think you're actually gonna get through to anybody, but I've gotta give it a shot. We did actually get several hits on through, which is pretty impressive. So 15 of 30 were shot down by the AMS, but more importantly, several missiles. Oh. Oh my. This Arctic Wolf is equipped with a black carapace. And probably 2 MMLs. We want to take this guy reasonably intact, because if we can get our hands on the black carapace, that is a phenomenal piece of armor that grants you an automatic stealth system and armor repair. This thing heals over time, which is rather terrifying to pause and think about. Okay, so my arrow, my chance of actually hitting the target, 1.5. Right. I just lobbed a missile. Who's actually in the blast radius? Okay, we'll lob the missile right here. And
Copy that.
launch. Okay, more damage scattered all over the place. Yeah, I forgot this mech is just steadily unable to move if I do that. So it's gonna get shot at a lot.
Ready for order.
Finn, bring the burner boy. Actually, no. Do I? I don't think I want to bring the burner boy. We're gonna bring the burner boy back over here. So sprint over in this direction. We'll engage the fire starter, see if we can help out a little bit. Temperature control, my friend. So lots of flamers going down, structure exposed, and plus 39 heat. We do need to hopefully hold him off long enough for us to get Jester out of here. He's moving to phase 18, which means a lot of people are outspeeding him. Hopefully the Jaeger mech isn't, because otherwise he's going to get shot at, and it's going to be incredibly painful, because his leg is currently exposed. There's nothing in that leg, I don't think, except maybe missiles. Oh, he's still got 100 rounds of SRM ammunition. He's gone through most of this other leg, but his right leg is still not used. Okay, more incoming fire, plus some heat. Which is not the worst thing in the world at the moment.
Minimal damage.
Alright. Was that the Pirate Jaeger? I can't imagine that. It was the Pirate Jaeger? That was like nothing. What did he have? He did not fire rotary twos at us. He's also got a ton of laser AMS, so that ain't getting through anytime soon. Yeah, that's gonna take some serious work to actually penetrate. Who's running? It's gonna be a melee attack coming from the Arctic Wolf. And a headbutt for an additional 29 damage. Clang in the minus, however, you have just exposed to me your back. I don't want to destroy your center torso, because the center torso is where the black carapace is. But I'm going to have to do something about you. Do I have a line of sight? I thought I had a rear attack position on the damaged nidhogg. There's just so much jamming on the field right now. Get over here.
Roger, Skipper. Taking it.
Oh, this Venom is actually so much more vulnerable right now. He has a whole ton of pulse lasers, but if I can kill you... I mean, I can't kill you, not in a single volley. Yeah, we have to invest in the people who are going to take a whole heck of a lot more damage and explode. So you're damaged. Death Crusades and Nova can probably do a nice little follow-up on that. If I can find the right angle for it. No. It's not looking good. Not if that's about the best I can do.
On my way.
Come up the mountain a little bit. Aim on down. Oh, that Venom is so incredibly vulnerable. I wonder why.
Firing.
Large lasers followed with the cannon, and there goes this engine. So taken out, that was very important to us. Managed to take out another 25% of the enemy forces for the Illyrian support lance. So starting to work around the nidhoggs as best as we can, although they are incredibly dangerous, and I still have to get Jester out of here. Oh, this is painful. Please let me get Jester out of here intact. He's been just absolutely mauled. We do not normally take that kind of damage on these mechs. Alright, so you can actually get right up in behind here on the Arctic Wolf. And hi, my buddy. I'm not going to fire the scatter shot because I don't want it to accidentally crit too much. Left torso destroyed. It says Black Carp is destroyed, but I'm really hoping that's not the case. So we've got another one down. That's 50% off the support lance. So we're almost at halfway through the battle. Or at least halfway through the kills. And still surprised that it's taking us so gosh darn long to get down to Jester. Cicada going to be opening fire on the bushwhacker, but that is within range of the fire support defense of the Griffin, just utilizing its advanced AMS to pluck everything out of the sky. And Jester, you get that mech out of there as soon as humanly possible. Or I suppose gesterly possible. His right leg is the damage leg, so I'm trying not to swing too far in the one direction. 70%. Yeah, shoot at the 78. Even more good hits with a powerful SRM fire through. Managed to crit his small laser and a jump jet destroyed. So starting to get a little bit more pressure onto that Owens. He's probably going to want to back out soon. Or maybe he'll hang around. I'm really hoping I can save that Black Harvest. That would be a piece of equipment worth saving. Also, you know, if we can get the head off the Jaeger mech, that'd be pretty cool. That would give us a chance to, you know, steal the entire mech. Which, to be fair, it's a 65-ton Jaeger, but it's still a 65-ton mech. I'm not a huge fan of the Jaeger, but if I have to take it, I'm going to take it. Right, Coach, in your Shadowhawk, you've managed to jam one of your MMLs, and we've been sort of blasting our way through the enemy, so you may as well utilize your Risk LRM-20 short range. Just burst him. How are you providing fire support from this range? In any event, his AMS... Oh, he's got his own AMS. Right, okay. His AMS ended up exploding anyway, so we've taken care of that one. We'll rush on over here. Shadowhawk chilling out, doing a good job, and we'll be back in the fight relatively soon. And that'll be, I think, the last for us. We're not going to have to wait for the rest of the enemy to actually come cycling on through, whenever that may actually end up being. So, enemy phase on 17. It's got to be one of the nidhoggs coming up very soon. And when they move as a legion. So yeah, the Owens is going to be dangerous. He's part of the Illyrian support lance. And the Nidhogg didn't move up top. But he didn't seem to do much of anything. So that might give me an opportunity to shoot him down, because he won't be super evasive. Right, the Hunchback. You have a target into his back. Do I cook? I think I kind of have to. So I'm actually going to move within actual visual line of sight, which is going to make us insanely vulnerable to the other Nidhogg, but I have to have hope. Come on, make this happen. 80% all around. So we do have some penetrators. I don't know if we were scattering onto the actual structure itself. But that's the last of my units, and we are now overheating. Comes to the top, it's up to Coach, and Coach is in somebody who's got a whole bunch of SRMs, targeting people who cannot be targeted by SRMs. Well, just missiles in general. Yeah. You know what? Make them Infernos. Let's see if we can get anything through. I think we got it. Did we kill that thing?
One more for the trashy.
Oh, we got it. Alright, we've killed more than half the enemy units by this point. We are down to the last 2, 4, 5 units, and a little bit of incoming return fire from the Owens, which was to be expected. That Griffin's going to have to probably start aiming at other people, because we're a little bit too tight to engage these folks. So we're down to only one Nidhogg left. We still have several units from the primary lance, and of course the Pirate Jaeger, which clearly is sort of the star of the show. The Burner Boy is a little bit overheated at this point. Oh my god, you didn't move. Really?
On my way.
That seems like such a huge mistake to have not moved. The fire would be a little bit much, so I'm going to turn off one of the flamers. And sure, he's very open, so any hit really has a potential of getting some interesting crits. Didn't manage to get too much done there, unfortunately, but he is very vulnerable to, say, the Nova, which he'd come in with the Hag and manage to, you know, blow him to little tiny pieces. Or, say, the Warhammer in cluster mode would also be very effective against him. Alright, enemy is having to cycle down through the bottom. Jester in the Gladiator could actually move up and try and save yourself. You know what, yeah. I do need to protect that right leg pretty severely. If I don't, we're probably going to die. There we go. Owens is out of the equation. So we're down to 4 mechs in total. A single lance remaining. That's not right. Oh, that is right, because the Nidhogg up here. So we just got to make sure that we take out the Nidhogg, because, oh, he's going to be tough. I can't even... Oh, there he is. Alright, incoming missile barrage onto the Hunchback was somewhat expected. Did not manage to connect with too much. Just a single hit on through so far. And a Petadux. Right, so the Griffin needs to start really laying into the enemy. If I were to just turn and start engaging, we have no idea. So I will do something like so. That'll loop.
Move order received.
Alright, 19, 15, 19.9. Oh, it's just going to be incredibly hard to hit. Fire! And same area code, managed to scatter all over both mechs, so they are now under my spell. My firepower from the arrow 4, and the Jaeger mech starting to make a move, still not able to get a line of sight. Showboat is kind of toasty at the moment, and so would prefer not to continue to toast. I can't do anything about the nidhogg right now. I legitimately have no recourse but to ignore it for a little bit. So I'm going to present my back, because it is actually fully armored back there. Maybe that'll bait him out, although he does have a rack 5, which that could end in tears. I hate you so... Oh, he's on the complete opposite side of the mountain. I'm not worried all that much anymore. Alright, so in that case, give me Death Crusade, or Mockingbird in the Bushwhacker. She's got a better penetrating punch. So that is why I desire to have her here first. Swing on over here, take aim. It's not that great, but hey. Still managed to hit with the Gauss rifle. Not bad. So the Jaegermech has been plinked. And now he's going to have to get shot at by even more fire. Although I kind of doubt that I'm going to get the kind of shot that I'm hoping for. Give me a sprint. There's the shot. So the shot I'm hoping for would be, you know, through open armor, but that's not going to happen so far. So continue to burst away, managing to scatter all the damage all over that left side of the mech. So we're continuing to whittle away, and eventually it will disappear. Urban mech pulling on back. Howl is not in a position to actually do anything about him. Is Howl in a position to do anything about anybody? Yes, indeed, she can engage the Jaeger mech from on high, and I will not Warlord just yet, and so that will shoot down. Ooh, another good Gauss rifle shot. Not able to follow up with many more of the lasers, but that'll be just fine. Paradox can then bring the Griffin on over here. And continue to just, you know, lob death from on high. Boop. So even more artillery fire. We're focusing on the lighter units just to make them incredibly vulnerable and in a lot of pain. Probably wouldn't affect too much in the Jaegermech until we actually manage to punch through the armor. We are getting kind of close. Jaegermechs tend not to be well armored, although it is a pirate Jaegermech, which means that could be different. Oh, there goes some pirate rack 2s, which are basically LBX racks. Scattering all over the mech doesn't cause a huge ton of damage centralized, but the advantage of that system is it does amazingly for follow-up on counterattacks. Unfortunately, we've managed to jam all of our weapon systems, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk right up here, all special-like, and I'm going to E-War ping. Blink.
I've got a sensor lock.
So we've got sensor locks all across the entire show, and so now they are unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but they are suffering from that effect. As long as you stay away from me, the Nidhogg gunship doesn't actually come within range, we'll be happy. If it does come within range, we might have a little bit of a problem to have to deal with. The fact that he can just sort of fly over mountains is really, of course, thematically properly. However, he also apparently hides behind terrain. So there's that. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's going to do, but what he does is going to be very important eventually. Finn in the Burnaboy. Could actually move him in nice and close to the Jaeger. The Jaeger did, after all, just shoot.
Let's move.
So we're going to go say hi, and at the same time, we're going to lay down a sensor lock on top of said Jaeger, just to ensure maximum accuracy,
Got a sensor lock.
and hopefully be able to penetrate his defenses in some way. Here's some fire, just for a little bit of added emphasis, to make sure that he understands that I'm not happy with him. Only hit him for 8 heat, so that's clearly not a whole heck of a lot at the moment. And we also have placed the Burnaboy once again sort of in front and center of the fight, so the enemy's going to have to shoot at him. Luckily for us, he's fairly well defended. Now the Warhammer's actually going to be the thing that takes it. However, our clan AMS getting involved, laserizing anything that would actually come our way, just makes this Warhammer extra tanky.
Standing by.
I think... Oh, it's a minefield, you jerk. You absolute little jerk. Had he actually managed to hit nearer to the Gladiator, he could have stalled us. I'm going to activate Warlord on the Gladiator just to make sure that we get the maximum penetration on this one. Good hits from our PPCs, which has made him exposed. And so now what I can now do is follow up with the Silver Bullet Gauss Rifle in Silver Bullet mode. Cluster, activate the Warlord, and prepare to fire. Yeah, I have hopes. I have high hopes. There goes his entire torso. Follow up with that and managed to cause quite a bit of damage. Engine crits all over the place, and he is maximally no longer in possession of his faculties. Can I actually move anywhere without dealing with a minefield? Ugh, we can't. Move on over here. We took... How much damage was that? 2 damage from the landmines. Okay. So not as bad as it could have been. We'll move in the Nova, because the Nova should have... no, we'll Mockingbird this. So the Bushwhacker and the Nova working together to sort of punch their way through each target. Unfortunately, the gas rifle missed, which was kind of my hope. That is the knockdown, so the Nova's going to have the easy time with sort of the scatter blast on that. So he's on his back. Managed to avoid some of his falling damage. He is not ejecting from the mech, which is a bit surprising to me. I would have anticipated that they would have wanted to bail from a mech that was, you know, about to die. But apparently he's feeling cocky. Could go for the center torso destruction. I think I'm just going to aim for the head. The reason why I did that is I was hoping to kill the engine without destroying the CT. We did get another headshot, which is kind of amusing to me. Alright, Showboat doesn't have a target on much, but Showboat also can't really get to targets until she comes around here. For fear of mines, really. We'd have to run through the minefield, which would be extra painful. Or maybe we don't care. Okay, so the minefield starts there, so we're going to move right up here, which, you know, we're not actually moving through the minefield, but it gives us the high ground advantage to fire down at the urban mech. Because, hi, buddy. Oh, managed to basically annihilate his entire heavy rocket launcher stash. So that'll make him a little bit more vulnerable in the following rounds. Back on the way, he is actually providing jamming support, so it is something we're going to take care of. And laser-focused accuracy on the Burner Boy with his lasers, so yeah, that was unpleasant. Coach. Right, Coach, your Shadowhawk has regained one of its weapons. Not much, but one. We will run all the way down here. It is an obstructed shot, yes, but I think I can get a listen kill on through. So I'm going to fire even more listen kill ammunition his way. Didn't cause as much damage as I was anticipating on it, if we'll be completely honest. Right, Finn in the Burner Boy. I can actually come around to your right side and light you on fire. How much fire? How about all the fire? Just in order to make you extra unhappy. And also potentially, you know, crit your gun in some way. Unfortunately, we managed to miss most of that. Not feeling super psyched about it. Gladiator, no. Death Crusade. Actually, no. Gladiator, yeah. So we'll continue to rush on forward. We do want to start getting through his electronic jamming. It is providing all kinds of hell for us to try and accurately kill him. Not working as accurately as we desire, but we can sprint on close. Get ourselves within hag range. That'll be sort of the sweet spot for us. Unfortunately, it's not going to be all that great. 22%. Laser, we actually did manage to hit him, and the hag managed to scatter off of him as well. So we're slowly working down the damage on this urban mech, but we're definitely going to need a lot more firepower to really kill this thing. But all the jamming that this urban mech is putting out is actually providing a real problem to deal with. Is the nidhogg coming back yet? No, it seems to be content to hang out over there. We'll deal with him later. Gladiator taking even more fire. Hip destroyed, that's going to be a free repair, basically. Doesn't cost any cash, although it will slow him down for the current future. Hi, the Griffin. The Griffin is going to provide a long-range shot. Yep, fire. And close enough. The Cicada's not having a good day at this point. We've managed to structure expose it already. We're down to 3 units. So with its structure exposed, it is incredibly vulnerable to our fire. I'm hoping the urban mech is not going to move anytime soon.
Ready for orders.
I could move there, but I would walk through a minefield to do it. Showboat. You're shooting scoot, right? Yeah, so you're going to shoot and you're going to scoot. Shut off one of the medium lasers. We're just going to lay down some fire. Pretty accurate, too, at that. Good penetration. Shoulder and hip destroyed. Managed to knock out his ER medium laser, and his heavy rocket launcher has been crit once again. And that will move out of the way, and make way for Howl to slap right into the slot left behind? Apparently not. How is that not? Apparently we have to run. We are literally 1 tile away from being able to do this just normally. Alright, double check, make sure we didn't actually break the gun yet. We did not, lovely. So, say it in cluster mode for the high accuracy, and because, you know, lots of crits to be had here, and blast away. And there goes the urban mech. No longer have to worry about his stuff. So the support lance has been defeated. We only have a couple more... Ooh. Did you take a headshot? I don't think you did. Oh, we must have scattered onto it, so the Burner Boy's arm is getting rather thin. We might want to keep an eye on that. Would be cooking, so we're going to shut off the pulses that have no chance of hitting. In fact, we're going to shut off all the pulses. We'll just lob a Gauss shell. Managed to miss, apparently by negative 3%, so new math. New math. It's so simple that only a child can do it. If you've never heard the song, look it up. Bushwhacker can get fairly close on this one. There we go. No longer worrying about a bad sensor check. Blitz him. And also his entire back armor is basically missing. Did that make him unsteady? He did go unsteady just from that. Oh, talk about a good amount of firepower. That'll bring the Gladiator on in as well. So we'll get a shot going here. 87%. Yeah, kill him. And he's dead. Alright, so now we just have a single nidhogg gunship who is zipping around the backfield, doing basically nothing. Aside from being incredibly irritating. But we are going to have to hunt him down. Right, so, tag ground. We're out of AMS ammunition. And fire. Come back here. Stop running, you coward. Missed by 25%, but hopefully that'll still be close enough in order to actually cause the damage that we need. Now, the burner boy can't actually do anything to the nidhogg gunship. He has a tag and literally nothing else. So, yeah, he can't have any effect on that, unless he, you know, shoots at the ground and misses, which I suppose could happen. Death Crusade's Nova, however, would be fairly decent at shooting it down, should I happen to be a little bit lucky in order to penetrate its armor. Coach's Shadowhawk will likely have no chance of shooting it down, purely because it happens to have a whole ton of AMS, and we're not getting through that anytime soon. Are you coming back anytime soon? There he goes. He's back in the range, more or less. Warhammer, have you broken the gun? You have not broken the gun. Lovely. So what you're going to do is you're gonna walk right out over here and be prepared. Showboat as well will walk into cover and get ready to unload all of her MRMs, which we have actually seen are able to get through. MRMs appear to be somewhat resistant to that sort of effect. I'm just going to walk with the burner boy. That way we can get rid of all of our evasion problems. And then once he comes at a range, we're going to lay down a sensor lock on top of him. We'll probably even E-War ping if it's still available. I think it's another 2 turns out from being doable, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. And Mockingbird of the Bushwhacker needs to chill out, but otherwise her mech is feeling pretty good, so we're just going to sprint as fast as we can on back around. Just to keep the pressure on, to keep the enemy on the back foot. Hey, he's moved up to the very top of the mountain. Lovely. Can I get a line of sight? Anywhere.
Good to go.
Find it funny how the 2 slowest mechs in the company are constantly trading the lead between them. Reserve.
Holding for tactical advantage.
Alright, Paradox, what you're going to do... Which direction are you facing? You are facing the right direction. So you're going to move back here. And then you're going to attack ground, and again, you're just going to drop it on top of him. If he wants to move, that's great. Another good hit. Well, close enough. Apparently it missed by 73%, but that's not the biggest of deals. Come on down the mountain, buddy. Let me kill you.
Waiting for the right move.
Let me annihilate you with all of my firepower.
Right, Commander.
Is he already gone?
Copy that, Commander.
He may have already gone. Alright. Brace.
Bracing for
Brace. And you have a trip to make, but also you're incredibly vulnerable, so don't move too fast. Also, you managed to unjam the gun. You also can brace.
10-4.
Are you going to come over the mountain anytime soon? So Paradox can continue to just continue his long-range missile engagement. So no medium lasers on this, just missiles. And that was basically dead on. But yeah, eventually he will be vulnerable to my fire. I just have to give him enough time. Come on. Come on down the mountain, my little friend. He has revealed himself. Okay. I need the burner boy. And the burner boy is currently being driven by Jester. So I need to wait until 8. Yes, this is going to tank everybody else's movement, but that's okay. Yes, I know. We're messing through the reserve system, but it's okay.
Standing by.
Oh wait, I didn't need the Gladiator. What the heck? Who is driving the runaway?
Good to go.
It's Finn. Duh. Finn's the next. Alright, now.
Waiting for orders.
What we're going to do is we are going to sprint Finn on into range.
No shooting.
And then Finn is going to lay the sensor lock onto the nidhogg gunship to give everybody just a little bit easier time actually shooting the darn thing. Gonna lock that down. That'll mean Mockingbird can then bring her bushwhacker around. Is she gonna have a target? She'll have a target from here, which we will take. So 1.5.
Target locked.
Missed by 4%. Wow, that was a really good shot, actually. Showboat. So Showboat's gonna run right up to the edge. Take aim, everything on. Only 12%. 21 on the MRM, which is nice. which we are getting a couple of shots on through. If we get enough of them, we might actually be able to kill it. I mean, I doubt it, but you can dream. And in fact, we are going to continue to dream by just lobbing PPCs with no chance of hitting. Missed by 84 and 35%, which is totally to be expected at this point. I mean, you're really not going to nail him from there. Just keep the walk going on around.
Commander.
Howl, on the other hand, can move right up on in here.
On it.
Activate the Warlord. And cluster at 40%. I'm really hoping that'll do more. Didn't do as much as I was hoping for. The Shadowhawk with the EWS ping probably would have been useful.
Acknowledge, Commander.
I'm not going to do it at this point, but I am going to fire Inferno SRMs. Maybe something will get through. Oh, that got it! The single Inferno got through and took it out. Alrighty, so the enemy has been defeated, the Warhammer finally having its debut. Unfortunately, there was a lot of ECM on the field, making the Warhammer's job a little bit harder than it otherwise normally would have been. But yeah, we finally have our heavy mech on the field, which is really fun to be able to dish out and just smash onto people when they are not suspecting it, plus 300,000, which is always nice. The Gladiator took a pretty nasty hit, poked through most of that leg. We're kind of lucky that ammunition didn't explode. Shadowhawk picking up a ton of kills as to be expected. But let's go see what's actually sitting on the ground for us to pick up. Obviously, we want that Black Carpus. 1, 2, 3, 4 parts to our Arctic Wolf, which is rather hilarious to me. The Hellspawn, also quite a few parts too, because we killed him mainly intact. Lots of mech parts. That's the way to... And just loads and loads of AMS Mark II. Right, also laser AMS, we're not super involved in a whole ton of MML-10s. PPZ, which does 55 damage, and stacks, interesting, has a fall off of 33% now. A whole bunch of rotary risks, which we may take our rotary 5 from the risk, because it should be less likely to jam, I think, on the base jam chance. ECM, Endo, Engine Core. There is only one thing I want to look for right now, and that is the Black Carpus. It may have been destroyed, but I have to hope, I have to try. No, unfortunately it looks like it was actually destroyed when we managed to blow off any part of this thing. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to capture the Black Carpus if that's the case. Right, so the AMS we're not interested in. Flamers we're doing okay on. We don't need, especially don't want rocket launchers because rocket launchers are mostly worthless. LRMs, an LRM 30, no thank you. If we're taking LRMs, we'll get clan versions. The MMLs are good, but we have 3 of them already and we're not using them, so not especially good. So has a recoil of 1 per shot. Weapon has a flat jam of 6% chance per shot, mitigated by gunnery. So that should be more accurate. So what I can do is I can grab a couple of rotary risks. Maybe we keep, maybe we don't. We'll find out. There was a lot of rotary AC5s though. Beagle probe, no, not interested. A whole bunch of normal cockpits, again, not interested in the slightest. I think we're good on Endo. Yeah, we have 2 more pieces of Endo steel, and the normal ECM, I don't need it, but I'd rather have Guardian. Normal Inner Sphere XLs are totally ignorable. We wouldn't want them. Artemis 4, we really don't need. We have 2 of them. More Guardian ECMs. A Gyro XL is really tempting because it's the good one. It has the full stability and just weighs less, but takes up more spot in the center torso. Heavy Ferro, also rather useful. I have one, though, already, so I'm not exactly using it, and I still have an IFF jammer, so I don't need that either. Pirate Fire Control System is actually really useful because it's just +1 on all ranged weapons and 1 evasion pip ignored. So it does increase the recoil and heat. And it's also a battle computer, which is pretty helpful. And then there's the sensor trackers. Sensor trackers are amazing. Really tempted to grab that instead. And then Thunder LRM, caseless ammunition for racks, which I think is incredibly dumb. I think I'm going to grab sensor trackers. So I have the sensor tracker, the pirate targeting system, which weight 1.17, 55. Yeah, they think the sensor trackers are better too. So, 2 sensor trackers just for the hell of it? No, we'll take the 1. Alright, so we managed to get a single Hellspawn, an Owens, and 2 Urban mech parts, of course. Cicada. Didn't get any of that Jaeger mech, but we weren't really going for it. Got the Gyro XL, the IFF jammer as well, and an ammo swarm of LRMs. So, not a terrible haul, actually. The luckiness worked out okay. The XL gyro was a really good gyro. Glad that we got that one randomly. And the sensor trackers are always great, so managing to just get any of those is useful. And now we can build potentially just any number of risk. Well, we could build a twin risk rack 5. That's what I'm trying to say. Because hopefully that will work out. Now the GM does get quite high. We need to be able to control 6 jam in order to just completely and totally run the gun. but if we could, that would be a lot of fun. So what we could do is a recoil dampener on each arm for 1 each, and then a recoil targeting computer for another 2, and then a pilot at rank 9, I think, gets another 2, so that would be all 6, and we'd be able to completely run that almost ad infinitum. Add in a couple of gunnery boosts to the life support systems, and we could go even further. Oh, man can dream. Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to see what we actually managed to pull it off on that one. A little bit of war going on. It's going to cost us 84,000 for the next 13 days to patch up the mechs, which is kind of okay. I mean, we are starting to run out of time, and I do need to take a mission for cash sometime soon, but we will all be here to see that one. Check our priorities. Yeah, the Gladiator took a pounding, an absolute butchering pounding. Warhammer barely touched it all. You're up there. You're up there. We should be ready to go in just a few days' time. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's episode. I have been Tirek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. Before I see a notification every time I saw these videos, press the little bell icon, leave a comment, make sure you join us for the streams on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5 o'clock so that you can join us for Apollo's Vipers, a clan start, a different look at the galaxy. We'd love to have you there, and I will see you all in the next episode